Sorry, I just realized I've been having trash bag with trash sit in my trash can for like over a week now, and it definitely was picking up flies. I opened it and realized, oh, there's stuff that's been rotting in here. So I finally threw out the trash because I've been like holding out because it's like it's not full yet, it's not completed yet. I got better get maybe get like a smaller trash can. I have had these trash cans for like nearly a decade at this point. Probably could stand for an upgrade. Let's see here. Prices for United Flight to I don't know. Nor the P, not anything. Everyone knows I'm in Houston. Say that I give that away real easily. So SFO, Forza, Italy, no, to New Chutose Airport. So because these flights only run on airlines, Star Alliance, which includes United. Let's see here. I believe ANA is called All Nippon Airways. So this is one stop, but this one is nonstop over here. So like this one, it's from Canada goes to San Francisco to Vancouver. In Vancouver, oh, so you can get a direct flight from Vancouver to Sapporo. Interesting. Pretty northerly, so I guess that makes sense in some sense. I'm setting up on my iPad. So I guess that would make some sense. Hold on, let me see here. If you don't know what a great circle is, a great circle is any circle inscribed on the surface of the earth that perfectly bisects the planet. This doesn't look as nice as this one. Oh yeah, this is a nicer one. No, get the out of here. Like, wants to use my passwords. Really? Man, passwords autofill like SFO. No, what was the code for Vancouver? YVR. There's a reason why all the Canadian airports start with YVR. Want to know? Ask. What's his face? CGP Grey. Do CTS. Go. So yeah. Let's see here. And let's see here. SFO. CTS. Slightly longer distance. And honestly, the flight times. So like the night. Let's see here. The United flight is actually. All right, go back. Details. Wow, it's $4 cheaper than a 2-leg flight. Than a one-stop flight. And travel time is actually only 10 hours and 45 minutes. That's not that bad. Question, what is it if it goes the other way? Have to do a day in advance like this? What is that? How do I get out? Because it'll do the other way. Or do I have to go to the Thursday, December 24th to fly out? Oh, yeah, here it is. And it's 9 hours and 5 minutes the other way. So, honestly, because I'm thinking, like, if I'm going to splurge on a business class or a premium economy seat, I'll do it for this flight. I'll fly economy from Houston to San Francisco, but, you know, then there's other flights, such as, like, Singapore to, let's see here. Or to, I don't know, can I get to IH from here? God, that is probably like an 18-hour flight. I can check. Let's see here. And can I get to IAH? Can I get a direct with one? It has to be one stop. Is there such thing as a nope? There's no non-stops. So closest port of entry is SFO. So I mean, what is even SFO? What's the flight time for that? 15-hour flight. That's only 5 more than the other ones. But again, if I'm gonna splurge on United's introducing a sort of pseudo first class. I've been looking into this now, and now my into flying on a different flight classes, different tiers of seats when flying, and it's whatchamacallit. Now my algorithm's flooded with it, so I now know ones that are like, is it like Japan Airlines and then Etihad Airlines, where you can have like an entire suite all to yourself. I've actually gotten to fly first class once, going to and from Italy. So it was a nice experience, and you can fully lie down. And I'm a more rough and tumble guy, so the crampedness of a United business class is pretty is good enough for me. In any case, but I kind of feel like, man, am I really gonna spend that much, like $2,300? Like if I go back to hold up. Let's see here. For 10 hours and 45 minutes spending hold up, what was the class? If I do business on United, it's saying like $4,015, but I can get a discount for less. Man, what's the cheapest option? And you can do it with one stop in Haneda for 14-hour total travel time. It's not gonna be let me just start at the beginning what it's totally gonna be. It's gonna be a 15-hour full all-around trip here. They have to go from IH to SFO and then make that direct flight. But you want the direct flight so you can just go straight to New Chitose Airport and not have to worry about I don't know, picking up bags and then having to make a connecting flight in Haneda. I should be able to. One last thing before I do this. So can I do IH, FO, GTS? Oh, I already had one of the legs done. So total is 10,350 kilometers. Let me ask this question here to Grok. Can I check bags all the way through on a flight from IH to SFO and finally CTS? Or will I have to collect my bags at some point? Grok already knows me that I want to use United Airlines. Because I've been consulting Grok for other issues. And should check your bags all the way from IH to CTS on a single ticket. You will not need to collect them at SFO. How it works on this itinerary. United will operate starting December 2026. The CFO to CTS nonstop, and this is a classic domestic to international connection on the same airline and ticket. At IH, check your bags and have them tagged all the way to CTS, final destination. The agent or kiosk will print tags showing full routing. At SFO, you arrive on a domestic flight, usually Terminal 3. Your bags transferred automatically behind the scenes to your SFO CTS flight. You proceed to your connecting gate, often via the airside walkway and the G gates, international terminal area. You typically do not need to exit security to go to baggage claim. At CTS, you clear Japanese immigration and customs, then pick up your bags at baggage at the claim time. Wow, hold up. My chat doc went to hell. We'll completely reload you. Put in some test chats to make sure I'm alive here out by my lonesome. I also need to change the tags on my Twitch stream. Wow. Okay, I got those. Far Cry. Action Adventure. Ubisoft. Wow. Wow. Hold on. That took me to the bottom of the listing. There. Not Ubisoft. What do I want? Open world shooter. Good enough. Leave it at that. Test my own chat. All right. Yeah, that went through. At IH, check your bag. Whatever is it? Key condition route. Single ticket, one itinerary. Same PNR. If the two legs are separate tickets, you will almost certainly. That's not going to be a problem. I can book through United because I can fly United all the way. I did actually have an experience once when I was flying back to the U.S. for a Christmas vacation, and would have been the first time I'd done it like in a year and a half. And when I did that, like I thought I had booked it, then I realized like the day before, like, oh, I don't actually have the itinerary, so I need to book the tickets now. And I was trying to like book them, and then I kept on getting an error because the processing for the intermediate flight from Fukuoka Airport to Haneda or Narita was not going through. So I eventually called up United, and they had explained to me, it's like, it's not going to fully go through unless we can get the connecting flight through Jetstar, one of the low-cost carriers, which is like United's internal working partner inside Japan. So I eventually had to buy one ticket to I had to buy one ticket at call it. I had to buy one ticket from Fukuoka to Haneda or Narita and make sure that they synced up. But I was looking at the same flight number, so I knew what to pick both ways. So I did have to pick up my bags at Haneda or Narita. I completely forget which. And that was a bit of a crunch time to actually get it. In any case, so I just need to make sure it's on one single ticket. There's like an early flight, early in the morning, like 5:30 a.m. that gets me into San Francisco at like 7:30. And just well, looking at it. So what is this? Yeah, 7:20 a.m. Oh no, there's got to be an earlier one. I swear there was an earlier one than that. That gets me in earlier. Sort by departure time. I swear there was a 5 o'clock flight. Actually, I'm getting nervous about that. I'm gonna check on my phone real quick. I don't know why I'm just like yapping about flight times and stuff. Nope. Financials. This is travel. God damn it, it's loading. IH to support Japan on 23rd. Looking out one way. Yeah, they have a 5:05 a.m. flight out of IAH. So just to be safe, I'm gonna catch that flight. Why that's not showing up here, I don't know. Where's the airlines? Where's United? Make it all United all the way through. Yeah, there it is, the 5:05. And it's the same price as the 721. So what's the difference? So obviously I'm going to pick this one to be safer because 3 hour and 10-minute layover is better than a 55-minute layover where a long enough delay will mean that I straight up miss the main flight, and then that flight doesn't happen for a day or so. Trying to get my parents out from Connecticut. They're going to fly obviously out of Newark if it's United. And so they may actually fly out that evening or even a few days before, but my sister's got minimal time. So they might fly out the evening before and crash at a nearby hotel. Let's see here. Oh, and they're going to be doing, and the flight is a 787, so it'd be interesting to fly on that modern marvel these days. Modern marvel of carbon fiber composite, which is better for airplanes because airplanes need to be internally pressurized versus submarines, which needs to be who experience external pressure, which is why deep sea whatever the heck that poor that disaster that happened of the amateur commercial submarine company that did like tours of the bottom of the North Atlantic. He was making that out of composites. I was watching a real engineering video, and the guy who runs that channel specifically has an expertise in composites, especially carbon fibers, and they're really good at tension, not so good at compression. So good for airplanes, not so good for submarines. All right. Still got a Nat in here with me. I also put out the trick of putting out some small little container with dish soap, filled up mostly with dish soap, and then put some vinegar on top. And apparently that's supposed to attract the flies, and then they misjudge the surface tension, and they accidentally fall into the soap and die. So all right, so enough about flights. Yeah, but if I'm going to splurge I'll probably splurge going there for a business class seat, which will not be this expensive. I can get a pretty nice discount. But coming back, I don't know, I'll get premium economy. All right, that's enough about this. What is going on in the Twitterverse or in the news cycle? Less relevant ads. Oh, Christian High. Oh, it already started me out on my Observer account. Good. Things into I'm off the top of my head. Anime, chess, cooking, investing, old books, Christianity, cosmology, Lego models, naval history, numismatics, impressionism, classical antiquity, philosophy of mind, paradox map games. Are you sure that's down that low? Victorian architecture, philosophical idealism, Bitcoin and precious metals, 19th century European history, aren't we all? Austrian School of Economics, of course, and Cubius interpretation of quantum mechanics. I don't know what Cubius is, so. Department of the Interior, 22 fountains restored, graffiti removed, historic statues cleaned. Thanks to POTUS, we are making nation's capital safe, beautiful, and worthy of the greatest nation on earth. So he's joking around, like most people have like been accustomed to that certain fountains across the country don't work anymore. So fighting against decline wherever it may be. What the heck is this? Iris Tao. Oh, I can tell who this is. This is New Dong Dynasty Television. And it is like, New Dong Dynasty TV is like the only Chinese language television channel out there that does not originate from inside communist China. So, but I believe that they are completely controlled by the Falun Gong movement / religion. So, and they have very much married themselves up to Japan, to the right wing in the United States, and Trump in particular. My family escaped communism to come to the U.S. Today in the Oval Office, I asked President Trump why he's warning Americans about communism in his new statement. His response was powerful.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. On communism, today you have some stern words on communism.
I just wrote that. Did you like it? Did you think it was well written?
Well, certainly very meaningful to Americans.
Well, I'd read it if you want to read it.
God, let her finish the fucking question.
Do you have it? You could read it. It's on Truth. I just wrote it. I just felt I've seen.
Okay, I'm not listening to this. You're going to get free rent. You're going to get free houses. You're going to get free food. You're going to get free everything. But eventually, that ends and it leads to death, destruction, and squalor 100% of the time. Listen, China's done pretty well for itself because it's not like actually full-on communist in the most classic ideal. They have some free market. They have some stock trading. There's a lot of some weird stuff. Like they don't have free internal movement. I've been over this before with the Hoku system where there is a system to actually become an official resident of a city because the Chinese government is looking at all these people who want to just flood to the heavy economic zones of like Shenzhen area or the area near Shanghai or Beijing, and if they feel like if they don't have some sort of control system off of it, things will be stretched to beyond their limit. Whereas here we just have like sky high rent prices and cost of services and stuff. If you have extreme rent control, like say New York City or Los Angeles. On Mayor Mamdani in NYC, I don't understand why he thinks it's okay for all these companies that pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes a year to leave because you're not going to have any tax base. Free enterprise is tough to sell, and that's what you make. What's made your country great, and that's why it's great again now. Who's she talking to? All right, so just some like Chinese reporter, obviously, or Chinese, how to say, New Tong Dynasty television, person just glazing the president here, or brown nosing the president here, hardcore. So, college from Jordan. All right. Oh, these are Stone Age tribal war. There is a Stone Age tribal war happening in Colombia right now. The Misak and Nasa people are fighting over a section of land. Yes, this is real, and yes, it's using traditional weapons. Video from May 21st, 2026. Wow. Okay, so you have like the non-Indios, either Castizo or, you know, Mestizo people here gawking at these like remaining tribal people of Colombia duking it out with each other. I'm reminded of some like footage from the 1970s of like Aboriginal tribes in Papua New Guinea going at it, and some reporters like going at them. And like it ultimately just amounts to them meeting up to like one or two guys are fighting at each other or at the front, and then they're either giving way or not depending on who dies at the front. So what is there to make of this? Colombian army deploys hundreds of soldiers in countries southwest after land dispute leaves 7 dead. So you can look at these people. They're probably like, you know, particularly unmixed. They don't have much European ancestry. Probably maybe a little bit some across all of them. But, you know, they look far more like, you know, what pre-Columbian inhabitants would have looked like. The Colombian government deployed 500 soldiers to quell the unrest after it escalated in a shooting conflict. As far as I can tell, it's currently still in a hesitant truce as land dispute is worked out. Also, remains of FARC are apparently nearby. Remnants of FARC, this is like this communist rebel group that has existed in Colombia since, I don't know, the 60s, the 1900s in some capacity, are apparently nearby. All this comes on the heels of a series of violent attacks in the lead up to Colombia's presidential election. Things are not looking very stable in Colombia at the moment. Illegal armed groups are active in the region, including dissident factions. The former Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC, that directed the landmark 2016 peace agreement with the government. I remember hearing that story long ago about how they was like trying to come to a peace agreement with FARC, and then that got voted down by the majority of the populace. What I would give to get dropped in there suited up like this. They escalated to firearms and IED, so I'm not sure that's a good idea. All right, so even like the very untouched, unmixed tribes of South America can get their hands on firearms. All right. I'm not gonna. Is this generic? Who is this speaking?
Devastating for his family. Thank the Home Secretary and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for ensuring the government came to the House today.
Is that Robert Generic? Nope, that does not look like him, so I don't know who this guy is.
The murder of Henry Novak is devastating for his family.
Oh yeah, the Henry Novak thing. What is there to say about it? I honestly looked at the footage. It might not extremely be clear that Henry is Mr. Novak was actually stabbed. Problem was he was stabbed and he was bleeding internally, not externally. So this was definitely fucking him up. And you could maybe, you know, think that he is drunk, you know, and, you know, that would make a plausible scenario. Like if he said, oh, I was racially attacked. Which honestly, at this point, I've said it again that I've been saying, I don't know if I've said this on stream, but if minority says like, oh, I've been a racism done against me, or I've been racially attacked or something, or suffered a racism or something. If they say that, that should immediately cue you in that they did something wrong. If they're screeching racism instead of like saying, oh, I got hit, I got assaulted, I got stabbed. They're saying like, oh, I got racismed. That should be like your cue to understand like, oh, this guy, he's trying to manipulate me. So I'm not sure if Henry would have survived because apparently the Dingwa family actually dragged Henry from wherever the heck he got stabbed and then dragged them to their own home before they even called the police to try and do a frame up of Henry. So Henry was probably screwed long, like fate was sealed before the police even showed up. And even if they had been on the ball and spot like, oh shit, he's really injured, we need an ambulance. I don't think Henry would have survived. So, yeah. And now there's like some mild rioting that's going on in Southampton. You know, anybody who's caught with their face on video during those riots is going to get black-bodied and get hit with, like they did in Southport, wherever Axel, that Rwandan kid stabbed a bunch of girls at a school, a primary school. So don't go to those protests, because if you do, like, Starmer has shown that he will come cracking down on you. Although I haven't heard him like coming out forcefully against that. Maybe he's learned not to counter-signal the protesters super hard, and maybe not to persecute them too harshly. But then again, he may be an uncaring, he is the epitome of the uncaring, unfeeling creature of the system who does not care about popularity. He will just do what the machine wants him to do, what the system wants him to do. So don't riot, because don't trust the government to be even-handed towards you. I don't even know who this guy is.
Young man on the way home when he was brutally killed. Henry's family have suffered an unimaginable...
Who is this? Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillip MP. So this guy is probably a Tory, ultimately. If he's the official Shadow Home Secretary, because the Conservatives being the second largest party out of power, largest party out of power gets to be the official opposition, for whatever that's worth.
Time to read a list. Approved. Next. Approved. I don't know. No time to read a list. Approved. Next.
I guess they're trying to make fun of Russia that while they're having some big like forum and parade in St. Petersburg, they were able to set off all these fires. Although I saw some all these fires, especially attacking all the oil infrastructure, you know, petrochemical infrastructure in St. Petersburg, no less, which is a real long shot. I heard there had been some conspiracy theories that these drones were actually flying through Baltic country territory to get to St. Petersburg. They're flying through a bunch of like ostensibly neutral countries to get to St. Petersburg. But it seems that they're actually like, you know, probably flying them over Belarus, because, well, they're sort of like a co-belligerent at this point, even though it's not an active front. They let the Russians invade from the north from there, so... I'm trying to catch this goddamn gnat. But I actually saw some stat recently come out that showed that actually Russia has increased raw crude oil exports up from, I don't know, like the lowest from like 2023. Like they're up, but their refined components like fuel oil or tar or kerosene or diesel and stuff are down. So Ukraine's been doing a good job of attacking the refinery production stuff, like the production of like secondary petrochemical goods, fuel gas, diesel gas, and other stuff. That stuff might be down, but I guess everyone's hungry for whatever oil they can get at this point. I don't know who this bloke is, but he looks like he stepped straight out of a different era. The suit, the tie, the mustache, the confidence. A proper throwback to an England that valued character, individuality, and a bit of class. Yeah, he does, like, scream like he's from, like, the Victorian era or something. Some, like, hodgepodge between the modern era and Victorian Britain. Luke John. Who's this? Nationalist, socialist. Okay. Nationalist and a socialist. Buddy, what is this? Nazi birth party. Homes, health, and honest work for a national community. Read our agenda, become a member. National Rebirth Party. Seems a bit, I don't know. Calling yourself a nationalist and a socialist. Oh god, Tenma. Alicia cosplay student. Want to see me shapeshift? I have no idea what this is a reference to. Although I took some cuts and bruises and probably some trouble down the line, I would like to say this is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Not only is Henry Novak dead, but countless young girls and boys have been raped and murdered. Our people are being replaced. This is our Britain. There's only one. It's our birthright. This is our land. Right. You call yourself a nationalist and a socialist. I think I know what that means, bro. And you probably shouldn't do that. You should probably be, if you were smart, what you would do would probably try and like infiltrate reform, nuke your entire like social media presence and get in there instead of, you know, having your own little shitlib, not shitlib, but little shitcoin party, shitcoin-esque nationalist party. Between what? Patriot Alternative, Homefront, Advance UK, and your thing. Alright, Japanese comedy sketch. Santa entered a xenophobic house. The parents are wearing orange, the color of anti-foreign sensato party. Oh. Oi, Gaijin, get out of here.
No. I am Santa Claus.
Nihongo, he's like, I don't know, he's like saying like, speak fucking Japanese, motherfucker. Japanese comedy sketch. Hey, maybe the Sanseito people are principled and they say, yeah, we don't want foreign influence. We don't like Christmas. All right, here's a... Motherfucker. All right. Back it up 1 second. All right, let's add a new one. Let me just... What the fuck? I spelled it correctly. Leave me alone, Grok. Or Brave. Whatever. It'd be interesting if they had, like, saying, like, oh, yeah, Christmas should be banned across Japan because it's a foreign religion or it's a foreign cultural holiday or whatever. As far as I understand, in Japan, like, if you're not a Christian, like, ultimately what you do on Christmas Eve is get KFC or try and get laid. It's not staked out any position against celebrating Christmas in Japan. The expo is linked to a comedy sketch called Santa Entered a Xenophobic House, which satirizes Santa by depicting the family in the party's signature orange color, rejecting Santa Claus as an unwelcome foreigner. It's humorous exaggeration, not a reflection of actual party stance. Sanseito, yada yada. Christmas practice for Sanseito. There's zero evidence of Sanseito opposing Christmas celebrations. In fact, party members and branches regularly hold street speeches, rallies, and events on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself, often posting in positivity with Christmas tree emojis. The party has done year-end campaigns in places like Tokyo Shimbashi area around the holidays. They even fielded a Christian candidate involved in church work in past elections. So, yeah, but Christmas in Japan is overwhelmingly a secular commercial holiday. Except unless you're a Japanese localizer who, despite the audio very clearly saying characters saying Merry Christmasu, will translate it as Happy Holidays. And all the other language localizers will translate it as Merry Christmas or like Feliz Navidad. And then the localizers will tell you like, no, because Christmas is such a secular commercial holiday, to translate Merry Christmas literally as Merry Christmas in our localization would not speak to the proper understanding of how Japanese see Christmas. It has to be translated as Happy Holidays to get across the point that they're really not Christian or celebrating Christmas. To which point you tell the localizer to shove it up their ass. All right. Man, I'm 40 minutes in. I've yapped like for a lot of bullshit at this point. Les Natifs. The natives. Oh, it's Jared Taylor. The police are in here hounding him. And what? Are they trying to escort him out of here? We were being hunted by the police. The French state is preventing us from discussing our day. At 4 p.m., the Paris Police Prefecture informed us that our conference is banned in Paris and throughout the inner suburbs. Oh, what happened to the right to peaceably assemble? God, what the hell is with my restream channel? It's like showing I have no viewers. Stream's still going strong on my iPad, so I got at least one. Myself, watching myself. 8:30 p.m. We therefore devised a backup plan to relocate our conference to Versailles. I'm assuming not in the Versailles Palace, but probably like some other convention area inside. 8:30 p.m. The Yvelines BAC, on orders from the Yvelines Police Prefecture, burst into our conference to prevent us from holding it. Their attempts to silence us were in vain. Whatever happens, we will defend what we are. Interesting. So they got the guy from American Renaissance to come out to France, I guess. I swear he was banned from the EU at some point when he was trying to fly into Poland. So yeah, but no right to peaceably assemble. This shit would not stand here in the the police could not get away with that here in the United States. At most, you'd have to like, well, what usually happens is anytime a white nationalist group or anything slightly to the right of the Republican Party will hire a venue, and then they'll hear about it, and then some people will get like Antifa or the like will hear about it, and then like post tons and tons of threats and bomb threats to the event and force the private venue to cancel on them. So half the time what any of these groups have to do is they have to go to a government place. I swear, like, American Renaissance has their yearly conference at some, like, state park convention hall, in, like, some state park in Tennessee all the time. And they're able to, like, legally force the government to let them hold their conference there. And force them to provide security for the for the service. Because usually you'll have like annoying protesters on the outside. But in Europe, no right to peaceably assemble, even, you know, in closed rooms and conferences like this. No, maybe you send some police behind the scenes and say, oh, are they inciting insurrection or anything? Can I record them or anything like that? But, you know, I don't know what. It looks like he's waving him away, like the police decided to give up for whatever reason. What the fuck are these? What is with these? I swear this is AI generated. I'm so confused what I'm looking at right here. I am not even going to touch that. Young right-wing men are the most right-wing demographic in all of South Korea. So, interesting. Guys in their 50s are apparently way more moderate. I'm guessing right is like the most right-wing candidate there. But whatever. Man, everything just seems to be about Seoul. And everything, like all the metro areas are just sucking up people, and there's like no life to be had there. All right. Oh, wow. So the guy who didn't have Trump's endorsement for the Republican primary for Iowa governor was apparently harassing Obama on the campaign at a town hall in 2009. So that would have been after his inauguration. So it would have been a campaign event for the 2008 election. So I'm not going to listen to the video, but that's how big in the game this guy has been at it. And man, I wish my arms were stretching out the shirt like his are right now. God damn. All right. But this guy apparently won the primary despite not having Trump's endorsement and also not having AIPAC backing money. So you can beat AIPAC money. You can beat Trump's endorsement. You just have to not be a retard about it. Case in point, Casey Putsch. All right. I don't know. Go to Clash Report. I only got 15 minutes left for the hour I could purposely constrain myself to. What's this? Oh, Kuwait had just showcased its newly renovated Terminal 1. Is this in Arabic or English? No, it's in Arabic. Its newly renovated Terminal 1 in a media report on June 2nd, one day before Iran struck it again with drones on June 3rd. The attack caused severe structural damage to the recently repaired terminal. There's a very distinct, like, sound to Arabic, and it's kind of, like, grating in a sense. I could ask Grok, and there's probably a way to understand, like, the phonics system of why it sounds like, you know, I don't know, a car trying to start up on a, like, a lower frequency. I gotta make sure I also have my passport before I make that flight to Japan. It's around here somewhere. Except my passport photo has a mustache on it, so that's gonna be awkward. U.S. House passed a War Powers Resolution 215 in 2008, directing President Trump to withdraw American forces from hostilities with Iran, with 4 Republicans breaking ranks. The measure is non-binding without Senate passage and carries limited immediate impact. But this marks Congress' first successful House vote asserting war powers authority over Iran conflict and constrains future military action without congressional approval. Unless Trump vetoes it, because apparently Trump can veto these resolutions. So it really has to be like, you know, 2/3 override in order for it to actually take effect. And that's not going to happen. Not enough people are breaking. Who is this? Daughter of Reza Pahlavi, Noor Pahlavi. We're not fighting for a throne. We are fighting for the freedom of a people who have been denied it for 47 years. I have never set foot in my country. I have never walked its streets, touched its soil. Yeah, looking at how you're dressed. What the heck is this dress? You know, maybe you'd have a little bit more support inside Iran if you, you know, or something a little bit more conservative. You know, maybe, so you don't just look like the most, like, cosmopolitan, like, foreign elitist possible. It's 120 comments. Is there any hostility in the comments? You think at some point you get tired of embarrassing yourself. Shut the fuck off. Shut the fuck off. Okay, it's shut the fuck up, Shakari, whatever you are. You're fighting to have a free streaming money, to pleasure yourself forever. You'll take that wish to the grave, and yours and your father. A family funded by Israel claimed to be rulers of Iran. Even though she's explicitly saying that, you know, she doesn't want, you know, to be a monarch. Reza Pahlavi and his family are fighting since 47 years. Yeah, I'm not surprised that a monarchical family was able to get out with some wealth at being able to Downing whip shot. Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, not good for her look. Oh, wow. The Pahlavi family is able to have some fun, including a float blow up on probably like some like secluded like beach fronts. Yeah, wow. Really, I'm not. Then again, as somebody who's more right wing, I'm not annoyed or like do not feel aggrieved at other people having stupendous wealth above my own. Just so long as they're not screwing over the country in the process. She is our princess. All right, so real Zorro over here is Iranian monarchy restorationist. She, her Jewish husband, and her is she married to a Jew? And her traitor father can fuck right off to Tel Aviv. All right, so yeah, a lot of hostility in here. At my father's press conference in Berlin, grieving parents stood before 150 members of the international press. Not one journalist asked them a single question. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, made his first official visit to Caracas, Venezuela, where he met with senior interim government leaders and U.S. Embassy staff. All right. So we're willing to send out our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff out there. So Venezuela is playing ball. They know who their master is right now. Armenia's PM Pashinyan says Karabakh was a trap for Armenia. Yes, I am the person who said our stock is Armenia, period. I said it because I believe the ideas instilled in us from school years, but I went on an honest path saying we should not bequeath this conflict to our children. I understand we had We had been put in a trap. We were put in a trap through Karabakh. If we continue on that path, we could lose Armenia and Armenian statehood. I found strength. It wasn't easy. I knew they would call me a traitor, a land giver, everything. But today I'm very glad I found the strength, stood up and faced the truth and bought Armenia out of this trap. I.e. not defending, that Armenian enclave surrounded by Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan apparently wipes the floor with the fucking Ukrainians nowadays. So, what the fuck is this about?
That's your size compared, so those are compared to, those are among the
Sears Tower in, whatchamacallit, Chicago, Empire State Building, and the World Trade Center. So the reflecting pool is longer than that. Of course, you need to have a metric about there, but he didn't even build it. But, well, whatever. I don't care. Trump gloating on himself, but that's Trump. You either take it or leave it. So, Kim Jong-un announced plans to expand North Korea's nuclear forces exponentially, inspecting a nuclear production facility. Okay, then. Man, their hats are, like, way too voluminous. I don't know how to explain it, but, like, it's, like, way too curved and fluffy, puffy right here. Same over here. Just looks weird to me. Asaib al-Haq, AAH, one of Iraq's most powerful Iran-aligned militias, announced it is formally beginning the process of severing its ties with the Popular Mobilization Forces and placing its weapons, personnel, and equipment under full state control. This is happening in Iraq. Not all factions are following. Harakat al-Nujaba has refused. If fully implemented, it would mark one of the most significant steps yet in dismantling Iraq's parallel armed structures. Maybe the Iraqi government is actually making some move to get a control of these groups, since Iran is so weak right now. And maybe since we've been putting the hurt to the IRGC recently, they, can't fund these guys as much as they would like to. And oh my god, this guy has Punisher logos on his mags. Memes that, you can't escape American cape shit wherever you go. I don't know what else to say about it. Should I turn that a little note into a short? No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't waste money paying somebody to edit out the quick short about that. I should learn how to do, edit VTuber shorts. Probably need to actually, swap to get, the DaVinci New Resolve or whatever to actually, cut things properly, to do all the fancy stuff that actually makes VTuber shorts, attention-grabbing and attention-sustaining. Oh, we blew up another vessel in Southern Spear. Vessel operated by a known designated terrorist organization. 2 narco-terrorists were killed in the strike. I don't know. I swear I look at these things and it looks like the boats are empty, but I don't know. Maybe they just pack. They probably pack that. No, okay. It looks like there's some barrels in there. What are they hiding here? Weird classified information, I guess. Where did this happen, though? In the Eastern Pacific or Western Pacific? Whatever. U.S. State Department, along with both Israel and Lebanon, have issued a joint statement announcing an immediate cessation of hostilities in Lebanon, stating, the United States convened a 4th high-level trilateral meeting between Israeli and Lebanese representatives on June 2nd and 3rd, 2026. As a result, the U.S.-led negotiations, Israel and Lebanon agreed to implementation of a ceasefire. The ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of Hezbollah fire and evacuation of all Hezbollah operatives from South Litani sector. The two sides agreed, with the guidance of the United States, to swiftly advance the creation of pilot zones in which Lebanese armed forces will take exclusive control of the territory to the exclusion of all non-state actors. These steps will enable progress towards a comprehensive peace and security agreement. All countries reaffirmed that the future of the relationship between Israel and Lebanon must be decided by the two sovereign governments. They reject any attempt for any state or non-state actor to hold Lebanon's future hostage. Israel and Lebanon reaffirmed that they have no hostile intent toward one another and committed to continuing direct negotiations to build confidence, resolve all outstanding issues, and work towards comprehensive agreement between the two countries. Yada, yada, yada. All parties condemn Iran's attacks on countries in the region and ongoing activities that undermine stability throughout the Middle East. Yada, yada, yada. United States underscore its intent to support the Lebanese armed forces with the aim of improving their capacity, enabling their effective exercise of sovereignty throughout the Lebanese territory. It emphasized Secretary Rubio's June 2nd statement that Hezbollah is not just an enemy of Israel and an enemy of America, but as an enemy of Lebanon. Israel reaffirmed that its security and respect for its territorial integrity can only be achieved through the disarmament of Hezbollah and the dismantlement of its infrastructure through Lebanon. It emphasized the importance of direct negotiations under the leadership of the United States to resolve all outstanding issues and achieve durable peace and security. Lebanon reaffirmed the necessity for mutual respect of intentionally recognized yada yada. The two parties agreed to reconvene the political and security tracks the week of June 22nd. With the view of toward reaching comprehensive agreement, the United States agreed to continue facilitating communication between the parties in the interim. All right, so one of the big hangups that Iran had before they committed to this memorandum of understanding for a ceasefire or peace or whatever was that Israel needs to stop Lebanon. And then we had the whole drama of Trump cussing out Benjamin Netanyahu on a phone call, which now even he has confirmed. Trump himself confirmed that that New York Post story was true. Mark Levin hanging himself right now. Whatever. Wow, where was I going with this? So, if this is one of the stopping blocks, hopefully we can get the peace deal back on track because we're running out of the month. Like, we want this like memorandum of peace and understanding and the peace process started before July 4th. So Trump can walk away with some sort of victory. At least that's what Trump should want. High contested vote in the Senate. We'll see if it goes down. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, President Trump was asked last night if Iranian drone and missile attack against Kuwait, which caused significant damage and injured dozens of Kuwait International Airport, to which he responded by stating, "There's a reason for everything," before suggesting the attack was spurred by U.S. strikes against Iran, saying, "We hit them pretty hard the night before and actually last night, and when it was explained to me, I was like, all right, so we'll do that, but we've been hitting them pretty hard." Fucking audio not coming through? What the hell?
They were slightly provoked because we took a strong action for a different reason.
All right, whatever. According to Reuters, citing sources speaking on conditions of anonymity, the U.S. cuts to the capabilities it contributes to NATO standing forces include fighter jets, refueling tankers, naval assets, and drones. Further report, the U.S. has told the European counterparts to bolster these capabilities, and the message was delivered by the top U.S. commander in Europe, Air Force General Alexis Grinkewicz. At the time of the writing, it's not yet clear if these capabilities will be reduced, but NATO nations have been warned that these reductions are indeed coming. Prepare yourselves. Again, everyone should be getting on, all the Europeans should getting understanding that they need to build themselves up because America can't handle the strain all by themselves. Following a claim by Iran that it targeted U.S. Navy destroyer in the Gulf of Oman, U.S. Central Command said it has issued a denial saying that Iran is lying. Claiming that it has targeted a U.S. Navy destroyer in the Gulf of Oman. I mean, that means they could have targeted and tried to fire to no success. Are you saying that they didn't even try? So, you're not necessarily countering what they're trying to say. Or your response doesn't necessarily negate what they said. Islamic Republic of Iran Minister of Foreign Affairs Syed Arghachi stated that Iran is conducting self-defense strikes on U.S. sites used to attack